Hey guys, this week what we're going to do is look at the way people live all around the world. Now, we know what we're used to, right? We kind of have a sense of our standard of living and the people around us. And last week, we watched a documentary where you got to see what life was like for people who were living in extreme poverty. But now I want you to be able to look at any region you want and any income level that you want and you're going to have a chance to look at the tiniest details of their way of life. So we'll get to that in just a second. What you're going to do this week is you're going to complete this worksheet. All right. So when you're done watching this video, you'll scroll down on this page in Canvas, right, where you're viewing this video right now, and you'll see a button that lets you open up this worksheet in Kami. So you'll complete it in Kami using the text box tool. You'll notice that your name should be up here. It should have made a copy for you. And then when you're all done, sometime by the end of the week, there's a turn in button or a submit button. Now, the reason why I'm giving you all week to do this one assignment is because I want to give you time to just explore and have fun with this. It's kind of like a rabbit hole where you start clicking on things and it just takes you deeper and deeper and deeper. And sometimes it's hard to stop. You just want to keep seeing more. So once you get to Dollar Street, which I'll show you in a second, you're going to pick a family from the poorest income level, the middle income level, and the richest income level. You'll tell me where they're from. You'll tell me what their income is each month. And then you're just going to fill in here with text boxes your observations about their homes, the people themselves, their possessions, the things that belong to them, their fashion and their style, their hygiene and self-care. So like how they take care of themselves, the food and drink, not just what they eat and drink, but how they prepare it and where they eat. And then my favorite are these other topics of interest, like what do they love most in their world? And what are their goals? What do they hope to buy next? And I really like this, their trash. When I was an archaeologist, the best find that you could stumble upon was a culture's trash midden. If you could find where they were dumping their trash, you could learn so much about them. So it's kind of interesting to see that too. So anyway, you will click on Dollar Street and I'll give you just a quick tour of what it looks like. When you open it up, you see all of these families, right? But they're actually very well organized. Um, You'll see this scale up here from poorest to richest. And this sort of breaks down each column. So your poorest income level families are all the way here on the left. And if you scroll and you keep scrolling, all of these people, you'll notice these little box keeps jumping around. All of these people live somewhere in the lowest income level. Okay. But then if you jump over a column or two columns, these two here are your middle income levels. You've got your lower middle and your upper middle. All right. So let's see, we'll go back up to the top. You can see how the house up top was sort of jumping back and forth between this range here. And then all the way over here on the right, you have the highest income level. So if we were just to make a comparison, this is a family in China living on just over $10,000 a month. In the Philippines, this family is living on $865 a month. This is a family in Pakistan living on $251 a month. And this is a family in Burundi, that's in Africa, living on $27 a month. Now, we learned that extreme poverty is when someone lives on less than $1 a day. So $27 over the course of a month, I think that definitely qualifies as extreme poverty. So you'll notice that up here you have two drop downs. If you click on this one where it says the world, I like looking at the entire world. But if you wanted to, you could click on a specific continent or region. You could click on specific countries. I like to have all the countries checked off, but that's just me. Again, you can do whatever you want with this. Then, right now we're looking at families. So we're seeing snapshots of every single family. And when you click on the family, it takes you into their home so you can see even more. But if you were to click on here where it says families, you can narrow down the topic that you're looking at. So, for example, if you just wanted to look at everybody's toilets, let's click on that. Here we go. And you can see the toilets again from the lowest income level, the middle income levels, and the upper or the highest income level. So let's just take a second to compare. Here, this highest income level, I think most resembles the types of toilets that we have in our lives. If you jump down an income level, still, a lot of actual toilets, some different types of toilets. They have a brush to clean their toilet. That's good. Here's a different style, different technology. If we jump over, lower one more income level down, you see it becomes a lot less clean. The technology isn't quite as good. You'll notice all different styles, right? This is more of like a hole in the ground, but there's a piece of molded plastic. Here's an actual toilet. Not really sure what I'm looking at here in Rwanda. Here's the back of a toilet similar to what we have, but the hole is in the ground. Anyway, and then if we jump over to the lowest income level, you really see some primitive toilets here. Many of them are really just holes in the ground. This is a bag. Here's a hole in the ground. And, this kind of gives you an idea of why the water quality can be so low in these lesser developed countries. When you're going to the bathroom outside like this in a hole in the ground, that can contaminate your water source. So anyway, that's how you filter what you're looking at. But let's go back to families real quickly. I want to go through one as an example for you. Let's see, we'll scroll down. You really get a sense of all the different topics that they have here. All right, so if we go to families, you're going to pick one family from this far left column, one family from either of these two middle columns, and one family from the far right, so that you get a sample of each income level. All right. As an example, let's visit this family in Pakistan. They have $251 a month that they're living on. All right. So from this window, you see that same picture. We're going to click here to visit their home. But just so you know your other options, if you clicked on this button, you'd be able to see all of the families that they captured in Pakistan. When I say captured, I mean like photographically. And then here you see a map of the region that this family is from. So let's go ahead and visit their home. All right, and I always like to read the background because I think that sheds some light on the pictures. So Abdul Majid family lives in Karachi, Pakistan. They are 2 adults and 1 child. Afshin is 31 years old and she works as a domestic worker. So that probably means that she works in somebody else's home, whether she's cleaning or, cooking. Her husband, Abdul Majid, is 36 years old and is unemployed. So that would definitely account for the low income. They have a son, Sufyan, who is 5 years old and is a student. That's great. He gets to go to school. The family lives in a 1-bedroom house, which they own. They've been living there for the past 12 years. The thing they like about the house is its close proximity to their workplace and relatives. However, they don't like the surroundings. So maybe it's dirty or unsafe. The house has a reliable electricity supply. That's cool. In-house water source. Notice it doesn't say indoor plumbing. It doesn't necessarily say that they have a faucet where water comes out, but they do have a source of water. And an indoor toilet facility, which, if you think back to those pictures we were just looking at, not everybody has that. Abdul Majid family purchases all their food supplies from the market. In the kitchen, they use natural gas for cooking. They use bottled water for drinking. The fact that they're drinking bottled water tells me that their water source might not be very clean. The family hasn't traveled outside of the city they live in. They go to the city's parks on vacations. Their favorite item is a basket full of their kids' clothes. I wonder why that would be their favorite item. I wonder if they have a lot of nice, I wonder if they have a lot of nice clothes for their son and they're proud of that. So that's why it's their favorite possession. They hope that someday they might fulfill their dream of buying a better house. So what you're going to do next is you're going to scroll down and you get to see snapshots of every aspect of their life. And as you go through these, just take a minute to think, how does this compare to my own life? What do my pictures look like? So here's the family. Here's the roof. Look at the street view. That does not look like my street. On my street, you can drive a car. There's no rubble or garbage. Here's their front door. And look at their lock. It's like just one of those like sliding locks. Their sitting area and play area is the same space, and it's really just a chair. Here's their kitchen. Look at all these wires everywhere, and I don't see, a sink or a refrigerator or even really a countertop. Here's their bathroom. I see all these buckets full of water. Here is their toilet. It's molded plastic, but it's not the toilet that we're used to. Remember it said one bedroom, so here is the one bed in their one bedroom, and that's all it is that bed. Their living room. Interesting, because like in our living room, that's where I would, that's where our chairs would be. That's where our couches would be. But here it looks almost like it's a living room / closet. Here's their wardrobe, all their clothes. In fact, if you look, that looks like the children's basket. They said their favorite possession was a basket that held their son's clothes. I wonder if that's it right there. Look at their floor. It does not look like our floor. Their walls, their ceiling, their light source. Looking around my room, I can count so many different lights and they're all on. I'm not proud, but they're on. And they have this bulb. Sofa and armchair, it's the same plastic chair. Here are the child's school books. Their wall decorations. Their TV and their phone, even their clock. It's like an older technology, isn't it? Not really what we have in our homes necessarily. The pen, you would think a pen is a pen, but I have to wonder, those houses on the far left, those lowest income levels, I wonder what they're writing with. Wristwatch, they're eating on a blanket. Their meal looks pretty good. I feel like I see chickpeas and maybe some rices in there. Let's see. We were right when we looked at the kitchen. There's no sink. They use this basin to wash their clothes, or I'm sorry, their dishes. And look at their dish soap and their dish brush. Oh. Here's their stove. It's a gas stove. You can see the gas line coming in, not the stoves that we're used to. And in fact, these are pretty dangerous. This causes a lot of fires and also bad fumes that people are breathing in these small enclosed spaces that don't usually have great ventilation. Here are their fruits, their grains, spices, salt, vegetables. Look at the refrigerator. They don't have one. They keep their fresh food in this strainer here. So that tells me that they don't have food that they need to keep cold necessarily. Their plates, cutlery, cups, their cooking utensils. The toilet paper and their shower is the same. It's basically just a bucket of clean water that they use to clean themselves. Oh, I just feel bad that everything looks so dirty. Oh, look at this. The washing clothes. It looks like these buckets of water that were in the bathroom. That's where they wash their clothes. Here's their power switches and electric outlets. Does not look very safe. Source of cool is a fan. So some people have air conditioners, whether that's central air or window air conditioners. If we're lucky, they have a fan. Here's a toy. Here's their trash. They're not producing a lot of trash. Think about how many trash bags you produce in a week. And look what they have here. Here's their everyday shoes. And look at their nicest shoes. Oh. Their teeth. The teeth say a lot about a culture because that's their access. A lot of times that's an indication of their nutrition and their access to dental care and medical care. Hands are often a sign of what kind of work people are doing. These hands look really nice. I don't know if they're the mothers or the sons. Maybe they're the fathers. I'm not sure. The little boy's favorite toy is his bat. Look at this. The most loved items, the pet. That is a wall of bird cages. Or I think they're birds. For a family that does not have much, you have to wonder, like, what is all of this? I wonder if that's part of their income maybe, or just something they really value. Here's the thing they hope to have next: a beautiful home and a beautiful bedroom. Oh, dish rack, their jewelry, their worship place. So the worship place is interesting. It's this little mat. In the Islamic religion, in Islam, they pray 5 times a day. And actually, people who are Muslim or I should say Muslims, will carry a sort of compass in their pocket, and that compass points them towards Mecca. If you remember in class, we talked about Mecca. That's where Muslims want to take that Hajj, that journey, because Mecca is the home of Islam. And that's where that giant mosque is with the Kaaba inside, and they run around the Kaaba, for the Hajj. Anyway, coming back to this little rug, this is what they would kneel on when they pray 5 times a day, facing in the direction of Mecca. So I could be wrong, but I'm going to guess that this family is Islamic. All right, so more their decorations, their piercings, their cosmetics. Really interesting. All right, so what do we do with this? We observed all of this. I'm going to choose this one as my middle income level family that I'm going to focus on. But if you wanted to, keep clicking, explore some more. All right, so I'm going to go back. I'm going to use my text box. The country was Pakistan. The income level, 251, right? Yes. $251. And then I can get into some of my observations. What did I notice about the home? The home was small, sort of dirty, did not have a lot of furniture or appliances. There was no yard. And very little lighting. Very little lighting, but it was enough for their space, right? All right. And they had the metal roof and ceiling. All right. The people, the family, the hands, the teeth. It was a small family, right? It was just the one son. Small family, clean hands for the most part. Depending on which family you look at, there's going to be, a lot of information for some of these boxes, very little. I don't feel like there was a lot to say about the people in this family necessarily, but you may find a lot more if you click on a different family. All right, the toys, the possessions. I felt like there was outdated technology. Few toys, but they really loved their toys. A few school books. Birds, right? So many birds. Maybe that's an appropriate way to say it. There were so many cages. Birds, most likely. All right, I didn't see any musical instruments or anything like that. Fashion and style. They did have some jewelry, right? Some clothes and jewelry. Spelling a lot of words wrong. They were proud of the clothes that they were able to provide for their son. You have a word spelled wrong, you should try to fix it. It's still wrong. There we go. All right, hygiene and self-care. Oof. There was a room with I don't know what it's called, so I'm going to call it a floor toilet. Which was made of molded plastic. They washed their clothes in buckets in the same room. They did have access to soaps, shampoos, toothpaste, etc. So they did have access to those things. That was good. Okay, that looks good. Put that in there. Buckets. You know me, I'm going to want to make it fit. All right, food and drink. They ate on a blanket. They didn't have food that needed to be kept cold in a refrigerator. They cooked on a small gas stove. Didn't see any meat. I thought that was kind of interesting, actually. There was no meat in their diet. All right. And then other topics of interest. Their goal is to buy a new home. They produced very little trash. All right. So you can write more than this if you feel like there's more to say, but you're just going to make some observations based on what you saw. And then when you're done, after you've looked at families from lowest income levels, middle income levels, and highest income levels, I want you to just write 3 to 5 sentences about how do other people's lives compare and contrast to your own? How are they similar? How are they different? Um, I don't know. I hope you have fun with this. Like I said, there's so many different things to look at, and you really realize the connectivity once you start playing with it yourself. Not the connectivity, excuse me, the interactivity. So have fun with it, get lost in it, take your time. You have all week. For me, what's more important than this document is you enjoying the investigation, enjoying your exploration of this website. All right, so take your time with that. Jot down your observations, and then don't forget this is a Kami assignment. So when you're all done, you're just going to hit that turn in button that's somewhere up here in the upper right hand corner, and you'll be done. So as always, just let me know if you have any questions. I hope you enjoyed Dollar Street, and good luck.